Right. Any other questions on this game or no?
I don't think so.
Right. Let's look through the other one then, yeah. And so this is a solo queue game.
Yeah.
Right, so what is our thought process going into this lane then?
Into this lane, I think we should push, since Rek'Sai is like stronger level 1.
Okay.
So like we should push, ideally like, I mean, I'm not really sure, like this matchup feels like I can't do really anything in this matchup, I think. Like I can't go in. But like since the Poppy fuck was playing kinda bad and like get some angles, but I'm not really sure. Expect that we can just push and I can maybe flash level 2 on them and then like see what's gonna happen.
So I mean, one thing is that I mean this matchup I don't think is gonna be easy for you guys, for sure not. Right? It's like, as you said, I think we can have the push in early game, like on the first few levels, and after that I think they're just stronger.
Yeah.
But there are always gonna be win conditions, right? That's like the number one thing. We have to think about like what are our actual strengths and what are their strengths, right? Because they have like They have
I
like
think in this game we just outscale them as a team.
Yeah.
So like we can just play for 2 items and then like if the game is stable then we should like win, I think.
Right, that's like one thing, right? And it's like because they have like a billion reasons probably why they can win a 2v2, right? Like the Poppy can like literally cancel out your champion, they have a shitload of damage, right? If they get level 6 and they all in, they can probably win these kind of things, right? Agreed?
Yeah.
But we have some things we can win on, right? Which is, for example, if the Poppy uses W, her champion is useless against our champion, agreed?
Yep.
So if we can ever for some reason bait it out, right? Because he's a bad player maybe, then we can win, for example. Right? The other thing is that if we can take skirmishes on the map, I don't think we're too unhappy either, right? Because like we have Udyr, Katarina, and we're a great setup champion, right? So if we can unlock ourselves, then we can play, right? For example. Yeah. So we preferably want to use this push lead that we can get in the early game to snowball it, right? And I'll probably, I mean, this is fine.
Yeah, I mean, I just realized that they are split, so I just...
Yeah, no, this is completely alright. It's like in general, no, I mean, yeah, it's good. Like, simple as.
Poppy is griefing, so.
Yeah, as soon as Poppy goes for a shield here, like, what we're doing is good. I wouldn't, like, look too hard on the trade, because I think when we lose too much HP, and they lose, like, a lot of HP as well, like, then we can be losing, but it's just a free trade.
Yeah. Do you think the Ignite is, like, worth it?
I think it's fine. I don't mind it. Okay. Like, because I think when we do Ignite here, like, they can just never win a trade later anyway, so.
Yeah.
That's, like, at least my thought process. If we want to save it, I mean, we can, but yeah. But he's completely fucked here.
I mean, if guys have flash, then it's just maybe that, to be fair, but yeah.
I mean, maybe, yeah, but we at least get flash for flash, but either way, this is still fine. And I mean, if this is a comp game, I mean, once again, I'll just call the Udyr to go and dive.
Yeah.
This looks omega free. Yeah, this is fine, I guess.
So like the only thing I'm scared of is just Bellet ganks.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that can like fuck up the line.
So if I'm really scared, obviously we don't have a ward, that's like one thing, right? Maybe Kai'Sa has a ward and he's just not using it. If I'm really scared here, I mean, for all I care, like, instead of standing in front of the tower, we can just walk into, like, river and we can just act as a ward. Because, like, we're doing nothing here, agreed?
Yeah.
And this Kai'Sa will not randomly die 1v2, preferably.
Yeah, there, level 1.
And I mean, this is fine. I think the only thing we need to do now is that we want to deny them the crash, right? Because we have a huge HP lead, agreed?
Yeah.
So what we just look to do is we just win this wave if possible, right? And preferably we like take an all-in if possible as well, right? Like if we can take an all-in right now, we're just winning as long as we know we're not getting ganked by this spell wave, right? So if we're super scared of getting ganked in this moment, it's fine if we play safe. If we for some reason feel like we are safe, like you can just stand all the way in this bush for all I care.
He actually went both sides, and like when you go like 5 seconds ago, I like saw him run both sides, but
yeah,
like when I was looking at the mid, she was just
Yeah, I mean, I'll take your word for it.
Shadowing into bot, but I mean, like, I was like, there's no way she's gonna gank bot.
Yeah, no, if we're like, if we think she can like path into bot straight away, like, and that's like their win condition right now, like, I'm fine with us playing safe, and then we spin the wave, right?
Yeah.
It's like now that Udyr is here, we can do whatever the fuck we want. So. Did Samira flash? Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did.
I mean, it's...
I mean, maybe I could just hold W, but it's kinda...
Yeah, I mean, if you try to hold your W here, the only thing that will happen is that the puppet will hold this W as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what we can do if we want to, I think we can just go on the pop here. It's like one thing. I don't think we're forced
like,
to go on the Samira. You go.
Yeah, but my thought process was like, she can just E on the Udyr, and then like she's out.
Yes, but the same thing goes for Samira now.
Yeah, kind of.
So it's like, yeah, I agree with you. Yes, like they could both E, but I mean, I'm not saying we have to go on the pop it. That's not what I'm saying, right? I'm just saying we have the option of doing so, and then we potentially like we can W her, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, we should always trade pop W for like Samira W, or for Rell W. I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, here the Samira just trolls for fun, and that's great. And the Belweb seems to troll as well. I mean, it's a nice cube.
I mean, she tried to bite, like, but there's nothing to bite.
Yeah.
And then like my mate meant to boom for fun.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I mean, yeah, but it's still fine.
So what is our thought process going on to the map now?
Since like Udyr wants to get a scatter, I'm just here to hover. I need to be bot before the wave crash because they can dive. It's just stack, so
yeah.
I have like time, and then I can just run bot. I don't want to do anything on mid now because like then they dive bot and it's a bit bad.
Yes. No, I don't mind us going for a ward here. I agree with you. We have to be bot lane though. I mean, I would probably not even hover topside, to be honest, because I think if something does happen here and we're there, I think our Kai'Sa gets completely fucked from it. And I don't think we gain enough topside, like most likely, for it, but I think it can be fine. Like one thing I see you do, and most of the time it's like fine. It's like you always open up on the map on mid lane, right?
Yeah, I do.
And it's not like a bad habit in that sense, but the best habit usually is we open up between the two lanes, right? If we don't need to be bot lane at all, right? For example, last game we kind of didn't need to be bot lane at all, right? So then it's fine. But what I mean by this is, right, we just consider where we actually need to be, right? Because it's good that we hover mid lane because we don't need to be bot lane. But if we don't need to be mid lane either, we don't really have a reason to hover there. So we can just hover river, and then we can see.
I mean, if I realize like the bot wave is fucked, then I kind of open bot, but...
Yeah. No, and this is like fine, right? If we go for a ward and like on mid lane or whatever, and then we like get over here, I don't mind it, right?
Yep. I think I'm just playing way too safe, but...
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, right, I mean, part of it is like we have to play in correlation to this guy, right? It's like one thing, right? So we can't like just play over here and then this guy's standing over there and then we're like, you know, because we can't split up too much, but right, like I think there's no reason why Kai'Sa can't be standing here right now and no reason why we can't be standing here, for example. Right, so if we want to do something aggressive, we can do it, right? And then we just ping forwards, right? And we probably don't get much out of it, I don't think. Like, this wave is slow pushing towards them, and it doesn't seem like any minions are dying, so I don't really give a shit, right, in that sense, but it can be a good habit to have, at least, you know?
Yep.
How come we went sweeper this game? Just wondering.
What do you mean?
Like, how come we went it on? Because we had level 1, right? So how come we have sweeper this game instead of, like, yellow trinket?
I mean, I usually start sweeper when I play, like, me versus maybe support matchup.
Okay.
Because I just wanna, like, get control into the middle bush, and, like, if they start war, then I can just sweep it.
Sure.
So I think that's why.
Yeah. Because for me, it's like, I don't mind it, like, if we have a reason for it level 1, I would probably going out on the map here, swap again. Because I think we have more to gain out of having a yellow trinket here. I'm not sure if you agree or not, but... Because I think we already win a 2v2 bot lane, like, even if they, like, ward or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like...
I mean,
yeah, go.
since I've, like, free time, I can just set up vision.
Yes.
Since I have 2 wards, and, like, yeah, it's a real good action.
So it's like going out on mid lane here, it's like one thing, we could place wards here. The other thing is like right here, same thing, right? And it just feels awkward that we don't have any wards to place. I mean, this is a bit awkward. I don't mind like the play in general, but I mean, we use don't ignite, right?
Yeah.
And then I think it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because I mean,
maybe if I just hold my W, then I reach. Like, if I buff a bit better.
yeah, I mean, potentially.
But
yeah, it's like either way, I use something we ignite, and it's like, I mean, the Silas, like we're still winning here, right? Because like Silas just misses to crash the wave, right? If Katrina wants to freeze it or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if we end up winning this or not, right? But ignite could make the difference in this kind of fight, right? That's why it's important.
yeah, probably. But I was kind of scared of Shenut, to be fair, like at this point.
Yeah.
So
when were you scared of Shenmue? Like in mid lane here?
oh yeah, like even before this play.
Okay. Because
like,
like for all
of this feels kind of weird, but since I saw top fighting, then I was like, okay, we can maybe like do this.
Yeah. Because like one thing is like if we're scared of Shenmue, is that we just hold our Q right for the Shenmue, right? Like,
yeah.
And then it just gets one tapped anyways. And he might be able to come out here or whatever, right? But it's like it's just in general thought process, right? And like I agree, we shouldn't like fight unnecessarily without the Shenmue, but for example here, if Shen still has ult, like and we want to dive this, like you just hold your Q, right?
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Aqsept. If you're enjoying the coaching session that you're watching right now, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. I upload coaching sessions daily right now. I also upload shorts daily. And if you're interested in seeing the sessions a bit more live and asking questions while we're going on, then just remember I always do these sessions live on my Twitch channel, so you can go follow that, link in the description. Anyways, thank you and enjoy the video.
I mean, this was...
I mean, it's a bit awkward, right? I don't mind if you think, for example, we don't want to clear the ward because it takes time or whatever, that's fine. Like, and if we sweep it, but we have to decide, that's all I care about, right?
Yeah.
Because now it's like a bit awkward, right? Because we have to go back to bot lane at some point. I would like us to play some more wards, like if possible, right? Like maybe Raptor entrance, something like this if I have time. But yeah, this is fine. Yeah, this is what I mean. Preferably we hold the Rell Q right for the shot.
Yeah, I think starting with W is
like
fine.
If we think we cannot hit our W for whatever reason, right? Like if it's like the EU we want, like it's fine to start with Q, right? Of course. Like you shouldn't fuck up your entire combo just because you wanna like kill the Shen ult. But yeah, it's something to consider at least, right? Alright, what is the plan now?
I wanna open board and fix the wave, I think.
Okay.
Rek'Sai. And then like I wanna look at the grubs.
Okay.
So like ideally I just wanna like fix the wave and like move mid, get the prayer and then play grubs.
Yeah.
But like right now, I don't even realize, but my top laner is like he needs to base.
Yeah.
So it was kinda awkward to play the grubs, and I think we like lost the fight here and
Yeah, I mean, of course.
it went disaster.
I mean, one thing that can always be, what's it called, always good, like with hovering into the grubs, right, is that they have to respect us, right? Even if, like, okay, let's say our top laner here needs a base, like, doesn't contest the grubs with us, like, that can be fine still. right? We just like, okay, for example, let's say Kai'Sa doesn't die, we take the bot prio, we take the mid prio, right? And it's like, okay, they will still do these, right? But we have the potential to zone them off and take the mid prio, and then we can play Drake, for example, right? Or we can play the bot, whatever, right? So it's like, you always want to set up one side of the map, preferably, before you play on the other side, right?
Yep.
That's like how it works, right? You bounce between the two sides.
And like, then there is a fight mid, and like, then it's doomed.
Yeah. I mean, one thing to like think about this game is like always, I mean, as I said, like what our win conditions are. I don't know. I mean, here we can see the tab actually.
I mean, right now it's just Kai'Sa, since she's the like strongest member, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Udyr is not weak and Kai'Sa is not weak, right? So preferably we play for these two, right? You said it, our Katarina is a bit mental boom. I'm not saying we should ignore him, but what I'm saying is like, for example, their Silas is really strong. So I think taking a mid lane 3-3 will always be losing for us, right?
Yeah.
Potentially we can win it, right? But you know, it's like way riskier than like playing a bot lane 3-3, for example.
Yeah, I mean, if anything like on bot happens, then it's good. Like, but if we like fight mid, then it should be bad.
Yeah.
Ideally.
Yeah. So this is a bit awkward, right? In that sense.
Yeah.
What is the plan now?
I mean, now I just realized that I need to play for Kai'Sa.
Yeah.
And since they like did the grabs, we can do Drake. Should be able to. So we just do Drake, and after that I just want to keep laning bot.
Yeah.
And hit plates.
I mean, it's quite awkward.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rough game right now for like multiple different reasons, right? Mainly because people are just like kind of taking fights they shouldn't be taking, right? And that's so much we can control.
But
yeah, go.
It's just normal.
Yeah, but I also think that we are not looking to fight around the people we should be looking to fight around, right? That's like one thing.
True.
And that can impact it quite a lot, right? Because now we're losing our win condition, right?
Yeah, and right now I have no, like, it's just weird.
Yeah, because now we have to like either try to get up some picks, or I mean maybe we can still win a bot lane 2v2 or whatever, right? But it's way more awkward now, right?
Yep. And I mean, right now we have just numbers, so I try to force something.
Yeah, I mean, this is fine. Like, this is kind of what I mean, right? We just have to get a pick, and often, like, that's just by having numbers, right?
Yep.
I mean, if we really want to force here, I think, honestly, like, we can use Q-Flash here, potentially. We're not even at the, like, old W in that sense. It's still fine, though. Like, I don't hate it.
And then I'm not sure, like, what should be the plan now, honestly, because...
I mean, what it seems like is that we want to play the Herald versus Belweth, right? Which makes sense why we want to do it. If we can do it, that's another thing. Because I'm not so convinced.
I mean, ideally, like, in competitive, I think playing bot lane turret is just fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad, but in this solo queue, I was not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think our number one thing is we try to hug this Kai'Sa or try to make plays around her, right? That's like the number one thing, right? And like, when it comes to like, okay, they get to hurl, that shit that happens, right? Because we kind of still rely on enemy making mistakes, like this one, right? For example.
Yeah.
Right? Because when we spot people out of position, for example, this Samira right now, and we have Kai'Sa with us, we can always punish it, right?
Yeah.
So this I like. And it's like, sure, are we getting the hurled? No, but that's fine, right? We just look to take winning fights.
I mean, that's how I like basically end up winning this game. Like, I was just playing to enemy mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, that's in general like a good way to play the game, right? So.
Yeah.
Because people make a lot of mistakes. This is a bit unfortunate, but... Like, the only thing I don't like about this here is that we take this fight, right? We end up winning the fight, that's good. And then we kind of end up staying on the map, right? Because Silas is here, and then... Yeah, like, it just feels like we should probably not take this fight, in a sense, right? Because if you look at, like, what's going on right now, is that we killed... What was it, one person? Or two people?
I think it was 2.
Okay, so we killed 2 people, right? And then 2 people show up in mid lane, right? Which means that someone is free farming on the map, right? Either this Garen or this Katarina or both, right? And we do not need to do anything at this point, right? Because we don't have ults, we don't have, like... Ignite, for example, is like one thing I really want us against the Sylas, right? Because the Sylas is strong as fuck. So if we don't have Ignite, it's gonna be really hard to kill. And like another thing is like once again just saving the Q, right? Because
I
if the
mean,
Sylas... Yeah, go.
I mean, the reason why we stayed, I think it's just because we want to save the turret, but the turret is kind of 1 HP, so it will die anyway.
Yes, I mean, there's a few things to this, right? One is that, yeah, it's 1 HP, so they can probably kill it whenever. The other thing is that even if we defend it on this wave, right, is that their bot lane will just come up here, and then we're just stuck, right? And then at some point we just have to take a bad reset, right? And the sooner we take that bad reset, the better it is, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're just stuck on the map not doing anything. Yeah, and this is another thing, right? Since we weren't able to take that reset, they spawned the Herald, right? So, off the winning fight.
Yep.
Yeah, and the plan should just remain the same, kinda. It's just look to take winning fights where enemy makes mistakes and where Kai'Sa is, I think. And one thing that is important with this kind of game is like to reassess like where are we actually strong, right? Like preferably after every base, right? Because like if this Garen, for example, let's just say as an example, right, this Garen like takes 2 towers like he did here, right? And he reaches 2 items, this guy's not weak, right? In a sense, it's not like he's super strong, but he's a point where we could play, right? And it's like in general he's fine in these, right? Because people, like, if we take a lot of winning fights, right, with the Kai'Sa, like, other people are going to be involved, they could also end up being strong, right? So it's just important to reassess, okay, like, who can we play around?
Yep. And I mean, it's kind of the same. I'm just waiting till someone makes a mistake.
Yeah. And I mean, one thing here is that I am not convinced that we should be, like, hovering in the jungle here, like we're. I mean, here it's like, it can be fine when opening up, right? We can play some wards or whatever. But, like, after this point, I'd rather just be mid. Because if for some reason they engage onto mid lane and we're standing over here, that's a disaster. The other way, not so much, right? Because we have like Kai'Sa and she can follow up on whatever you do, right? But we want to be able to contest the mid prior, right? Theoretically, if we're gonna do anything this game, right? So we want to contest the mid prior, right? And if we're standing in jungle and we get engaged in mid lane, then it's just a disaster. So I don't like how we're hovering the jungle. I don't think we accomplish anything. Now
And I
start
mean,
Nash. And I assume you just win off the Nash because you have flash.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, not bad.
And like then the game was kind of easy.
I mean,
we should be stronger now.
I mean, now we're in general stronger, right? And then it's like we were kind of playing from behind this entire game, but what is the plan now?
Like getting the bot turret. Ideally, just getting a mid push and then like getting full vision bot side and just playing between bot and mid, I think. I don't think someone needs to go top since the wave was kind of fine.
Yeah, I mean, someone will always go top lane because it's like solo queue, right? And it's not gonna be perfect, right, in that sense, but yeah. And it's like similar thing to before, like preferably what we do, right? I mean, if we can somehow coordinate it, is that we open up mid lane and then we rotate into bot lane, right? Because whenever we get stuck in this state, where we are 4 people bot lane right now, there are 4 people bot lane, we will never see each, agreed?
Yep.
This just doesn't work. Even if we have Nash, like, usually they will have some sort of wave clear champ. Of course, they don't have it this game, so it's like, maybe it could work. But it's also we don't have any proper siege champion, right? So it's like a bit awkward.
Yep.
Pressuring 2 waves, right? Because most comps will not have like 3 wave clear champions or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they will, right? If you're playing against like, I don't know, Brand, and then they have like, you know, whatever in like mid lane, like Corki or something, right?
Yeah.
And like, so it's like, it's possible, right? But in general, if we are able to pressure 2 waves, it's so much harder for them to respond, right? So theoretically, the last thing we want to do is only pressure 1 wave, right? And it can be hard in solo queue, because if we're like, I don't know, someone's pressuring mid lane and then the rest of us are pressuring bot lane, we're kind of relying on that one guy not to grief the game. And that one guy is relying on us to not grief the game on bot lane. So it's a bit difficult. But yeah, that would be the preferred thing. And I think if we're gonna like group up like this, then we just look to force a fight instead. And obviously we look to tier and then we get cancelled, and that's unfortunate, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even though I can't engage, I'm still like zoning them off, kinda.
Yeah. And I mean here, like if we rotate into mid lane here, like obviously one person wants to go Drake, but it's like, if Garen is rotating here, we can pressure this tower, agreed?
Yeah.
Like I would just walk into enemy jungle here and play this, for example, right? Because if they're rotating, this is the way we force the fight, agreed? Because they have to rotate after, and then they have to take safe way, and if they have to take safe way, and we do not have to take the safe way, then we're gonna be gaining tempo, agreed?
Yeah.
We gain a few seconds on the map. It's like, I don't think they should be allowed to rotate in the jungle, right? And then that's another thing, right? We want our vision line to be based upon that as well, right? In a sense,
yeah,
like already over here.
Like ideally getting full deep vision is fine, like this one.
And now it's a bit more awkward in a sense, but yeah. Right, then we get the... No, we don't get the mid tower, but we basically get it. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate this. It's not perfect, but it's fine.
And I think we just won after we killed the Cyrus.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like a bit awkward, like how the map plays out, right? But that's like not in our control, in a sense, right? So it's fine. Right, yeah, no, but I think the general thing, right, is in this game is just recognize, I mean, even earlier, right, who we're actually playing for, right? I mean, we can, like, decide this at the start of the game already, and this will update as the game goes on, right? But if, like, at the start of the game, we think, like, I don't know, fucking Udyr is the win con for some reason, I don't give a shit, right? Then we play around Udyr. And if he decides to grief one time and the Kai'Sa gets Omega fed, like, off the spot lane play, for example, like, okay, the like, win condition updates, right? And so we just have to like stay updating that, right? Because when we start playing away from the Kai'Sa, right, like, and we like took some skirmishes in mid lane, and she ends up getting caught out, that's how we can lose the game easily, right?
Yeah.
We lose our win condition, right? So we don't have a win condition in mid lane, even though we're playing around it, and Kai'Sa dies here, and now it's like, yeah, if the Samira hasn't been running it down completely, then it can be a bit difficult to win now, agreed?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's like something to think about already, like beforehand, and then also thinking about where we want to be on the map to like have most value, because that's like a large part about your role. It's just where should I be on the map, right? And we saw it a bit in the first game, right? For example, as well, right? It's like if you're on the wrong place at the wrong time with your with your role, then you're not doing your job. Agreed?
Yeah, and so then the game like it's kind of easy to lose.
Yeah, and it's like if you want to force plays around this Kai'Sa, for example. Like, for all I care, we try to sync up with the Udyr if possible, right? We might not be able to do it, but that's fine. And we try to ping that we want to make plays with this Kai'Sa, right? For example, if it's diving, or if it's like ganking on the bounce or whatever, right? I don't care.
Yeah, I need to ping more, I think.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah, and it's like, I think that's an issue most people have, like, that I've coached, that like people just don't ping enough usually, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, that's the best way to communicate. That's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I used to do it, but sometimes I just completely forgot, and then like.
And it does not mean people will listen to what you're like pinging, right? That's not the case. But it does mean that you're impacting the decisions at least, right? So that's what's important. All right. Do you have any questions about this game?
I don't think so.
All right. Then I at least don't have anything else. If you have any other unrelated questions, go for it. But
I mean, maybe like last couple of days, I just struggle with like being like consistent. Like one game I just like completely 1v9, and the second game I just go 0-10. And I think like that's my main issue right now.
Okay.
Like you can even see that the like OPGs.
Mm-hmm.
Like one game I'm just playing. For example, if you scroll down, then like
Yeah.
I just kind of 1v9 5 games in a row, and then like I go 0-10.
Yeah.
Even though like the matchups are kind of same. So
Yeah. Why do you think
that's
that is? Do you have any clue?
I'm not sure, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yes.
no idea.
So one thing in like this kind of game, I mean, it's like one is that it seems that we go out of focus sometimes. We like forget to remind ourselves of what we should be doing in the game. That's like one thing, right? We just go into autopilot, right? And then the question is why we go into autopilot. That's like the main question, right? Like because we can agree that we probably don't stay consistent because we're autopiloting, and if we're autopiloting, we can't stay consistent. Agreed?
Yeah.
So for me, like what I often say is like if you autopilot in game or not often doesn't have to do with what you're doing in game, right? Because we like you know how to play the game, right? In a sense. So it's like what the reason why we're often like autopiloting is for what we're doing outside of the game, right? So this can be basically whatever. Like one common example, I think why people lose focus is like if you have something else that you're doing outside of like League of Legends, I don't care what it is. Like maybe you're like studying right now or something, right? Let's say.
Yeah.
If you have an assignment due to tomorrow and you're playing League instead, you're gonna be thinking about subconsciously, right?
Yeah.
So these kind of things, like, and it might be whatever, if you need to clean your room, or if you need to go shopping, or if you need to have, like, whatever it might be, right? If you have something to do, it stresses out your brain, right? So that's like one thing. Preferably, we have everything we need to have done before we start playing, right?
Yeah.
Because that helps us focus, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I also think that I like play way too many games a day, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because like I can usually like the first 2 or like 4 games I usually like play good, and then like I start playing bad, but I'm not like sure what's the optimal amount of playing.
Right. So that's like another thing, right? Is like in general our schedule, right? So our schedule
because
go.
Because like I want to play the game, like I'm not tilting that much.
Yeah.
So even if I lose, I just want to keep playing. But yeah, sometimes I just go on like losing streak and.
Right. So for me, it's like there's two things to this. One is like how many games you play is dependent on you. That's the truth, right?
Yep.
There's no like perfect amount of games to play, right? Some people can play 10 games and be completely fine without like autopiloting, like, you know, and some people can only play like 3 games, you know, if even that. And that does not matter, right? All I care about is that we decide on a number that you want to play, and you stick to that number, right? If it's 3 games, that's fine. If it's 5 games, that's fine as well. I do not care, right? But once we surpass these games, we go on a Smurf instead.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, another thing preferably is that we don't play our main champions on the Smurf, because then we'll build bad habits, right, generally.
Yeah.
No, but so it's like, in general, that's like one thing for me. It's like, okay, we decide, preferably you can decide a time that you like playing. I don't care what that time is, if it's, yeah, like literally any time in the day where you think you can consistently play usually. Like, that's the best, right? And then you decide how many games you play at that time, right? Because the more consistent you can stay, like, in your schedule, right? Once again, you can stay more consistent outside of the game. Or inside of the game, rather. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't care what time that is. If it's like 15 or whatever time in the day, you decide for yourself, and you decide, I mean, you could try a few different things. If you think you can stay focused for 5 games, go for it, you know? If you think that's too much for you, that's fine as well. And then, as I said, I would just have a Smurf, right? And I don't know if you have multiple accounts or not, but...
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so it's like, you just go on one of those if you want to keep playing, right?
Yeah, but like, I think the issue is like, I have like account in like Diamond 2, whatever. And like, the difference between like my main account and the Smurf account is just too big.
Right.
So like, when I play on the Smurf, I usually just build bad habit, and like, it's not giving me kind of anything. So yeah,
No.
I think.
And I can get that, right? And I mean, there's two things, right? Well, I mean, we build bad habits by going autopilot. It's like another thing as well, right?
Yeah.
And the truth is, like, if we want to like do it the best, it's like we just want to rank up our Smurf account a bit, right? And if you think for some reason it's like really bad for you to play on your Smurf account, okay, you think you build too many bad habits, like, if you really want to play more, like, or like more than like 5 games, and you want to play some games where you autopilot, right? You can do that, right? But I'm not gonna say you're gonna climb from it, right?
Yeah.
That's like the number one thing, right? If you think like you don't give a shit about whatever this number says, like, then you can play however many games you want, right? But if you care about this number and you really care about climbing, then stick to the schedule, right? Like, that's the thing. And if you think, like, okay, it's not worth for me going on Smurf, but I still want to stick to my games, like, then you could, for example, review the remaining time or something like that, right?
Yep.
Or maybe, like, what you can do is, like, if you think, like, okay, I can easily stay consistent, like, 3 games, but, like, when I get into 5 games, it's, like, too hard, but I want to play more than 5 games a day, then you can play 3 games at one time. Then you can maybe go to gym or something like that, I don't care what it is, and then you can go play 3 games later.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. It's like, I don't care how the schedule looks, but the main thing is just staying up to it, right? Because if our brain gets used to, okay, we're playing 3 games at 15 and 3 games at 19, like, it's not gonna be hard to grid. Like,
yeah, it should be like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, as long as we're, like, actually used to the number and it's, like, doable for us without us overloading our schedule, like, it's fine, right? It's just that we get to, as soon as we get used to it and consistent with it, then it's gonna be fine. No, so those are the main things for me. Like, it's just about doing, like, things consistent outside of the game, and also sleep schedule is, like, another thing. I'm not saying, like, how you have your sleep schedule, I don't give a shit, right? Like, you can go to sleep whenever you want for all I care, right? The main important thing is that you stay consistent in that as well, right? So you go to sleep the same time every day, and you wake up the same time every day, right? And what time that is, I don't care, honestly. It doesn't matter. But that's, like, another thing, because if we, like, wake up, I don't know, at 12 one day, and then we wake up 8 the other day, etc., like, our mind will just be too scrambled.
Yeah, that's what's happening right now. So.
And I'm sure you've noticed as well, like, if there's, like, you know, if you sometimes oversleep, like, let's say you usually wake up at, like, 10 every day, and then one day you just wake up at 1, like, you usually feel less productive during that day, I assume.
Yeah, and, like, I play, like, really bad usually.
Yeah.
Not, like, really bad, but, yeah.
Yeah, so those are my recommendations, like, in general, if you want to, try to outpilot less, right? And it's just about building habits, and habits take a while to build, so, like, don't, in a sense, expect it to be, like, fixed, or I don't want to call it fixed, but you know what I mean, in, like, 1 week.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take some time in general, right?
Yep.
Alright, any other questions?
No, I think that's all.
Alright, then this session will be uploaded, like, I don't know, in a few days, so you're aware, if you want to watch it back.
Sure.
Then. And if you want to watch it back beforehand, it's on Twitch VODs. But yeah, I don't have anything else right now. If you have any questions in the future, feel free to ask, and otherwise I hope it helps.
Okay.
Alright, I'll see you, man.
Thank you. See ya.